Dear students, my name is Professor Margaret Ivijan, and I'm the chairperson of the University of Ghana's Anti-Sexual Harassment Committee. So I'm going to give you a presentation which is entitled Introduction to the Sexual Harassment and Misconduct Policy of the University of Ghana. By way of outline, I'll give you a brief background to the policy. I'll give you why the university considers sexual harassment and misconduct even in its policies. I also give you objectives of the policy, examples of what we mean by sexual harassment and misconduct. Then I want you to know who a perpetrator is and who a victim can be, or who can be a perpetrator, who can be a victim. And then what you need to do when you find yourself in a situation where you think that you are being harassed by anybody. So we'll give you contact information and how you can reach us to report your case. So a brief background. The University of Ghana's sexual harassment policy was first crafted in 2010, and then it was revised in 2015. The first anti-sexual harassment committee was established in 2011, so a year after the policy was first crafted. And its objectives were to create awareness, sensitize the university community, and to deal with cases of sexual harassment and misconduct. The Anti-Sexual Harassment Committee is made up of 14 members, and these members represent different segments of the university community. So we have students who are members. So we have graduate students, undergraduate students, they are members. We have local and international students, depending on the need. We also have staff, different categories of staff. So we have junior staff, we have senior staff, we have senior members represented on the committee. And this is supposed to allow every segment of the university to be represented, so that no matter where you find yourself, you find yourself reflected also in the committee that has been set up to deal with such cases. Now, why does the University of Ghana have a sexual harassment and misconduct policy? Essentially for two main reasons. One is to create an environment that is free of one, intimidation, two, exploitation and abuse. And then secondly, it is to create an atmosphere of work and study where all people are treated with respect and dignity. So these are the two main reasons why the university thought it wise to have a policy and then also a committee to deal with cases. The policy has 5 main objectives. One is to prevent sexual harassment and misconduct through education and awareness creation. So what we are doing today is awareness creation for you to know that, to become aware of the policy. 2 is to prohibit and sanction sexual harassment and sexual misconduct offenses. So people who are found culpable of such offenses are dealt with by the university. 3 is to investigate allegations and reports of incidents of sexual harassment and sexual misconduct in the university. So once such cases are reported, the committee investigates them. 4 is to administer appropriate disciplinary measures when a violation is found to have occurred. So people found culpable, we recommend sanctions for the Vice Chancellor to take action. And then finally, to ensure that victims of sexual harassment and sexual misconduct or persons who participate in investigations do not face retaliation or stigmatization. So if you help the committee investigate cases or you report cases, our job is to protect you so that you are not discriminated against, or somebody does not take retaliation on you, or you are not stigmatized because you were found to have cooperated with us. So what do we mean by sexual harassment or sexual misconduct? Now, the important word here is for you to see, or for you to know, is unwelcome, unsolicited. So something that is not welcome, if it's not solicited, and it's something that is sexual in nature, then there's a problem. Okay, so unwelcome, unsolicited advances and or propositions of a sexual nature. We're also looking at unwelcome and inappropriate gestures Gestures that we make to people which are inappropriate. It's unwelcome when the person says, I don't like it, stop it. Okay? And then unwanted and persistent propositions for dates. So you want to take me out, I say, no, I'm not interested. You continue harassing me. No, you are getting yourself into trouble. So it's unwanted, it's unwelcome, so you stop it. Then excessive and unwanted attention in the form of love letters. You are writing to me, you are phoning me, you are texting, you are WhatsApping, and I say, no, I don't like it. Your job is to stop it. Okay, so these are some of the things that we consider. And then also when we say unwelcome leering, you know, some people can look at you with the corner of their eye in such a way that you become very uncomfortable. It is an offense. When you are whistling when somebody is walking to distract them and to make them feel like falling or something, it's unwelcome. It is an offense. When you heckle people or you call them names or you hoot at them, these are all captured within the harassment, whether it's misconduct or it's sexual harassment. You're harassing somebody and you are getting yourself into trouble. And then unwelcome sexually oriented gestures or verbal expressions or comments of a sexual nature about an individual's body. You have no business commenting on somebody's body, whether they are slim or they are fat or they are tall or they are short or they are curvy or they are straight. Is not your business. They are the creation of God, so leave them to be. You have no business commenting on that. And then you have no business also commenting on people's clothing. Whether it's tight or it's loose, that's not your business. You watch if you want to watch. If you don't want to watch, just move away. Then sexual experiences. You have sex with somebody, you want everybody to know, it is an offense. Because it's only dogs which have sex in the open. Human beings don't do that. And we don't do that because we don't want everybody to know what we are doing. So it's an offense for you to do that. And then when people suggest or they seek to tell you that if you don't allow me to do A, B, C, D to you, it will affect your employment, your work assignment. So you are a secretary and they're giving you so much work that you cannot even go home, or that the salary we are paying you, we are going to, your allowances will be reduced or something, or that even your academic standing, you are a grade A student, somebody, because you didn't say yes, is trying to push you into the C and D area. These are all offenses. Okay, so whether it's on financial aid or letters of recommendation, their job is to provide that. It is not to make that conditional to anything that they have to provide for you. So if I'm supposed to give you letters of recommendation, my job is to give you. It's not to say that you must do A, B, or C before I do that. If they do, it's an offense, and you should report to us. Okay. Now, who can be a perpetrator of sexual harassment? We say anybody and everybody can be a perpetrator. Perpetrator is the person who is culpable. Okay. The person can be male or female and of any social background. So even your lecturer can be a perpetrator. The graduate or teaching assistant can be a perpetrator. Non-teaching staff, the workers around, can be perpetrators. A national service person can be a perpetrator. A student, okay, your colleague students can also be perpetrators. So anybody at all can be a perpetrator, and you should watch out for that. Then who can be a victim? Again, anybody, male or female. So a guy can be sexually harassed, a lady can be sexually harassed. So anybody at any time can be harassed. And that's also for you to be mindful of. Okay? So the victim can be a man or a woman. So a man can sexually harass a woman. A man can sexually harass a man. A woman can sexually harass a man. A woman can sexually harass a woman. A student can sexually harass a lecturer. Okay, so it's not only lecturers who will be harassing you. Sometimes the students also harass the lecturers. So this is for you to know that nobody has any right to harass anybody, and to also let you be aware that it's possible for somebody in your environment to harass you. Now, what do you do if you're harassed, or when you feel that somebody is unnecessarily making you feel uncomfortable in the university? What we say is that report. Okay, report. Now, victims of sexual harassment have two ways of reporting. We have the formal approach and the informal approach. Okay, So you can formally report or informally deal with it. Now, when we say informal, what we mean is simply that you go through just about 2 or 3 steps to have this thing resolved. The formal approach is a longer process, but I'm going to take you through both of them. So the informal approach is for me or you to approach the person who's harassing you to say that, please, I don't like what you are doing, stop it. If the person is sensible, they will stop. Or you may want to approach somebody who you think you trust and the person is likely to respect, to tell them that you don't want them to do what they are doing, so they should stop it. And if they are sensible, they will. Or you may want to approach a member of our committee and say that somebody is harassing me. I want the person to stop. And that member will call the person and say, you should stop it if the person is not interested in what you are doing. Because it's unwelcome. And once it's unwelcome, it's an offense. So these are the ways that you can deal with informally. Now, if you want to report formally, what you do is, one, you present an oral complaint to a member of the committee. Okay, and that member will ask you or will let you know the procedures that we follow. And I'm taking you through the procedures right now. So your complaint will have to be made in writing. Okay, you come to tell me what it is, and I say write it, because we need to look at what you've written in order to investigate. And so you write your complaint and lodge it with the committee. Now, when you have written it, what we ask you to do is to ensure that you have all the details that will help us. So details such as the dates on which the offenses were committed, the times, the places, if you have any photos or images or any social media posts, anything, recordings or any other evidence that you have, you need to include that because it facilitates the investigation that we are going to do. Okay. Now, the committee will notify the respondent. So you are alleging that somebody has done ABC to you. What the committee does is to tell the person, you have done A, B, C, D, and this is what the person has written to us. We want you to provide your response, okay? So the person will be requested to write a written statement telling us his side of the story, because every side has 2 sides. Every story has 2 sides. So the person will then be given 7 days to respond to the allegations that you have made. So what it means is that we don't just take your allegation and run with it. We take it and we ask the person who you are alleging has done something to also respond to what you have said. And then when we receive the person's response in 7 days, meanwhile, if that person thinks that 7 days are not enough to give us their side of the story, they would write to us and ask for extension, which we will give. But once we get the person's response, we form an adjudication committee. And that committee consists of 5 people. And it always includes a lawyer, because our committee always has a lawyer on it. Okay? And so the adjudication committee will then read your submission alleging whatever you are alleging and the person's response. And then from there, they will listen to your statements as you make them, because they are reading and then they are analyzing what you have said. They want to interact with you. They will interact with the complainant as the person who alleged that something has happened to her or him. And then also they will sit down with the respondent, the person who is supposed to have been the perpetrator. And then when they have done that, sometimes also they find a need to bring the 2 of you together so that we will listen to the 2 sides of the story with the 2 of you in attendance. Now, in severe cases such as rape, whilst you report to us, we also recommend to you to report to the police, because rape is not just an offense in the university, it is an offense in the nation. And therefore, it is seen as a criminal offense that is also handled by the police. And the 2 can actually go hand in hand. We are doing our investigation, the police will be doing their investigation. So in severe cases, we recommend that you report to the police. And the police, you know where they are, just outside the gate. You go beyond the gate, you find the police. And then as part of the formal process, we keep records of everything, all the proceedings. From the day you came to report all the way to the conclusion of the matter, records are kept. You may want to withdraw your complaint anytime along the way, but it doesn't stop us from investigating even if the respondent is not cooperating with us, we'll go on to investigate. Now, if at the end of the day, we come out with a conclusion and you are dissatisfied, you can appeal to the university's appeals board. But we always will have a conclusion or a determination to any case that is brought to us. So we investigate the case, arrive at a conclusion, and if somebody is found to be culpable, recommend sanctions to the Vice Chancellor based on the gravity or otherwise of the case. Okay. We also want to assure you that as a complainant, you have rights, just as the respondent has rights. And that's why I said that by complaining to us or reporting to us, we don't just go and arrest somebody. We want to listen to them. Everybody has rights. And the rights are, you have rights to non-retaliation. That nobody should disturb you because you reported or because you appeared before the committee. You have a right to confidentiality. Our job is to keep whatever is happening to ourselves, not to go spreading that Miss A or Mr. B has done A or has done B. No, we don't do that. You have a right to confidentiality. You have the right to respect. We need to respect you as a human being. And we do respect people who appear before us, whether they are complainants or they are respondents. We respect you. And then you have the right to truth and honesty. Just as you have the right to truth and honesty, we as a committee also have rights to truth and honesty. Because we don't want you to come and take us on a merry-go-round. Just tell us what happened, and then don't, because whatever you do, arrive at what really happened, arrive at the truth. So let us make it easier for ourselves and for you also. Now, if you want to contact us, or if you must contact us because you are being harassed, our offices at SIGENSA, the Center for Gender Studies and Advocacy. And I'm sure that in your orientation, somebody will show you where it is. It is beyond the it's no longer a faculty, the School of Agriculture. It's beyond it. You find the Center for Gender Studies and Advocacy. That's where we have our offices. In fact, the director of that place is the vice chair of the committee. And so once you get there, any of the secretaries can attend to you. And if the director is there, bring you to her, and then we proceed from there. You may also want to visit the Careers and Counseling Center, because also at that place, we have one of our members there. Usually the director of the place is a member of the committee. So once you get there, you have somebody to talk to, and then if there's a need for them to bring you to the committee, they will. But there's always somebody there. In fact, there are cases where sometimes we look at the effect of the case on the person who is complaining, and even before we determine what should happen, we refer them to Careers and Counseling Center so that they can receive some counseling before the case is determined. So you can go to Careers and Counseling Center, you can go to SIGENSA, or you can find any member of the committee. Your student member usually is a SRC that nominates somebody to come, or GRASAG. So you can approach the student member and then they will tell you how to proceed with this. And it's important that you take this very seriously. Okay. Now, if you have to call us, our number is 0200-217-582. When you call that number, somebody will attend to you. Or you may want to email us. Hear my story at ug.edu.gh or ASHC, that's Anti-Sexual Harassment Committee at ug.edu.gh. Any of these, whether you want to write to us, call us, or contact a member, you are free to do so. What we don't want you to do is to keep this to yourself. Because somebody is harassing you and you're unable to deal with it, it disturbs your ability to study. It disturbs your ability to even function as a staff of the university. And so that's why the committee is there to help you. Offload all that burden on us and we will take care of that. So don't keep it to yourself. Or always make sure that you report, either by phoning us, by emailing us, or by contacting any member of the committee, or by going to SIGENSA or Careers and Counseling Center, or you can look for me anywhere. You send me, and I'll be happy to assist you. So this brings me to the end of our presentation. But just to assure you that the University of Ghana is aware that in every community you have good guys and bad guys, and the university has taken steps to deal with the bad guys. And so don't allow anybody to sexually harass you. Don't allow anybody to make your stay in the university uncomfortable. Don't allow anybody to make you feel like an unwanted person in the university. Every member of this community is wanted and liked by the university. And so we want you to work or study in peace, in joy, and to enjoy everything that you are doing on this campus. So on this note, I say, please report if anybody is harassing you. Thank you very much.